What's the one thing that separates men who naturally draw women in, like moths to a flame, from those who stumble, struggle, and wonder why they're always left standing alone? It's not some hidden formula. It's not a pickup line you memorize, or a flashy move you pull out of a hat. It's simpler than that, and yet so much harder to master. It's what they don't do. You've heard it all before. Be bold, be charming, keep her guessing. And yeah, those things can work. But here's the secret. No one talks about loud enough. Attraction isn't just built on the right steps forward. It's about not tripping over the landmines that blow it all up before you even get a chance. Most guys, they don't see the mistakes they're making until it's too late. They wonder why she stopped texting, why her eyes glaze over, why she treats them like an afterthought. But today, we're ripping the curtain back. These are the 5 things you must never do with a woman if you want her respect, her desire, and that magnetic pull that keeps her coming back. These aren't suggestions. They're non-negotiable. Buckle up, because we're about to dive deep. Never seek her validation. First up, never say, sorry, never seek her validation. It's the silent killer of attraction, and most men don't even realize they're doing it. Picture this. You're on a date, and you catch yourself asking, do you still like me? Or maybe after a disagreement, you're the guy saying, you're not upset with me, are you? Over-explaining's another trap. Oh, I just didn't want you to think I meant it that way. And then there's the classic, fishing for a little ego boost. You think I'm funny, right? I'm doing okay here. Why does this hurt you? It's not just awkward. It's a billboard screaming, I don't know my own worth. You're handing her a job she didn't sign up for, making you feel good about yourself. And trust me, she doesn't want it. Imagine her as a woman who's strong, independent, maybe even a little guarded. She's not looking for a project. She's drawn to a man who's already whole, not someone leaning on her to fill the cracks in his confidence. The moment she senses you need her to prop you up, the flame starts to flicker out. So how do you break this cycle? Step 1. Stop chasing her reactions. You tell a story. Don't glance over to see if she's smiling. You make a call. Don't backtrack just because she raises an eyebrow. Step 2. Turn it around. Instead of waiting for her to validate you, offer her something real. Not cheap flattery. Say, I like how you think about things differently. It's rare. Show her you're observing, not begging. And step 3, anchor yourself. Confidence isn't about peacocking around. It's about knowing you're enough, whether she agrees or not. Think about it. A man who doesn't need her to tell him he's great? That's a man who stands out. That's a man she can't help but respect. And respect? That's the spark that lights everything else. Never put her on a pedestal. Next, never put her on a pedestal. I know. Every romantic movie tells you the opposite. Treat her like a queen, right? Shower her with flowers, tell her she's perfect, and she'll swoon into your arms. But let's get real for a second. The more you build her up into some untouchable goddess, the smaller you make yourself look. It's not romantic. It's a power imbalance. And here's the kicker. She doesn't even want it. What does this look like in action? You're that guy who can't stop gushing. You're so incredible, I don't deserve you. You cancel your plans, your gym time, your night with the guys, just to sit by her side. You bite your tongue when she snaps at you because, well, she's her, and you don't want to mess it up. But what's really happening? She's not seeing a knight in shining armor. She's seeing a guy who's lost his backbone. A guy who's made her the center of his universe because he doesn't have one of his own. And no woman respects that. I've seen this play out. A buddy of mine once spent weeks chasing this girl. Flowers every date, texting her poetry, agreeing to every whim. She smiled at first, sure. But soon enough she started pulling away. Why? Because he stopped being a man she could admire and turned into a fan she didn't need. Attraction doesn't grow from worship. It grows from mutual respect. She wants a partner, not a servant. Here's how you fix it. First, dial back the praise. A compliment means something when it's specific and rare, like, "You've got a sharp mind." I don't see that often. Not, "You're perfect" every 5 minutes. Second, get a life. Seriously. Fill your days with purpose. Hit the gym, chase a goal, build something. A man with his own path doesn't need to orbit hers. And third, set limits. If she's rude, call it out calmly. "That's not cool. Let's keep this respectful." She'll test you, and she'll respect you more when you pass. She doesn't want a pedestal. She wants a man who's real. Someone she can stand with, not look down on. Never let her control the relationship. Third, never let her steer the relationship. Women test you. It's not a conspiracy. It's just how they figure you out. They push to see if you'll hold steady or crumble. Can you handle a little heat? Will you stick to your guns? Or will you bend over backward just to avoid a fight? If you let her take the reins, saying yes to every demand, letting her decide everything, apologizing when you've done nothing wrong, you're not keeping the peace. You're handing over your power, and she'll feel it. Here's the truth. She doesn't want to be the boss of you. She might not even realize it herself, but she's looking for someone she can trust to lead. Not dominate, lead. That means having a vision, a direction, and the guts to stick to it. When you let her run the show, she doesn't feel safe. She feels burdened. And over time, that turns into resentment. A woman wants a man she can lean on, not one she has to carry. Think about this. I knew a guy, great dude, funny, smart. But every time his girlfriend snapped her fingers, he jumped. "Where do you want to eat?" "Oh, wherever you want." "What should we do this weekend?" "Up to you, babe." At first she liked it. Who wouldn't? But soon she started picking fights, testing him harder. Why? Because she needed him to push back, to show he had a spine. He didn't. She walked away. So what do? Take charge, not by barking orders, but by knowing what you want. She suggests something unreasonable? Say, "Nah, that doesn't work for me. How about this instead?" She's upset? Don't grovel, stand firm, but listen. Leadership isn't about winning every battle. It's about showing you're not afraid to steer the ship. When you lead, she relaxes. When you don't, she wonders why she's even there. Never be afraid to walk away. Fourth, never be afraid to walk away. This one's big. Nothing tanks attraction faster than a man who's terrified to lose her. You've seen it. The guy who puts up with sarcasm that cuts too deep, who shrugs off being ignored, who stays even when she treats him like dirt. He thinks he's proving loyalty. But what he's really showing is desperation. And here's the wild part. The man who's ready to walk out the door. He's the one she chases. Walking away isn't about petty games or making her jealous. It's about knowing your worth. It's saying, "I'd rather be alone than settle for less than I deserve." I remember a friend who dated this woman. Beautiful, sharp, but hot and cold. One week she'd be all over him. The next, she'd ghost. He kept chasing, kept texting, kept trying to fix it. Until one day, he stopped. Didn't call, didn't beg, just walked. 2 weeks later, she was blowing up his phone. Why? Because he showed he didn't need her. When do you walk? When she disrespects you, dismissing your ideas, mocking your dreams, pushing you just to see how far you'll bend. When she plays mind games, reeling you in, then pushing you out. When she's checked out, barely responds, treats you like an option. And how do you do it? Silently. No big speeches, no You'll regret this. Just leave. Focus on you. Hit the gym. Dive into work. Rebuild. Don't check her Instagram. Don't text just to see. You're gone because you respect yourself, not because you're punishing her. A man who can walk away isn't just rare. He's unforgettable. She'll feel the void, and that's when she realizes what she's lost. Never be inconsistent. And fifth, never waver in who you are. Women crave certainty, not arrogance, not fake swagger, but the kind of steadiness that comes from a man who's solid in himself. If you're a different person depending on the room, one day bold, the next day shy, 1 minute deep, the next shallow, she can't trust you. And trust is everything. She's not looking for a shapeshifter who bends to fit the moment. She wants a rock, someone who's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Inconsistency screams weakness. You're the funny guy with your crew, but quiet and unsure with her. You talk big about your goals one night, then act like they don't matter the next. She notices. Every time you flip-flop, she questions, who is he really? And the more she wonders, the less she feels. Deep down, she's wired to seek stability, someone she can count on when the world shakes. If you're a moving target, she'll never settle in. I think of guys like my old roommate. He'd charm everyone, loud at parties, thoughtful with friends. But with women, he'd change every time. One date, he's Mr. Sensitive. The next, he's aloof and cool. They'd lose interest fast, not because he wasn't great, but because they couldn't pin him down. Contrast that with the legends. Marcus Aurelius, facing chaos as an emperor, never wavered in his principles. Bruce Lee, adaptable, yes, but always true to his core. That's magnetic. How do you lock this in? First, know your values. What do you stand for? Write them down if you have to, and don't budge, even when it's messy. Second, be consistent across the board. Same humor, same vibe, whether you're with her or your boss. Third, align your words and deeds. Say you'll call, claim you're driven, show it. A man who's unshakable isn't just attractive, he's rare. Attraction isn't just what you chase, it's what you refuse to lose. Don't beg for her nods. Don't lift her above you. Don't let her lead you astray. Don't cling when it's time to go. And don't trade your soul for approval. So where do you stand? Are you the man she can't shake? The one who knows his worth and lives it? Or are you still the guy hoping she'll throw you a bone? That's your call. If this struck a chord, hit subscribe. We're just getting started. Stay strong. Stay real. I'll catch you in the next one.